Good evening. Welcome to the Glazov Gang. And tonight, our best Glazov gang
ever.
That's right. Tonight, 3 superstars. We are joined by Morgan Brittany, a movie and TV star that played Katherine Wentworth in the iconic television series Dallas. Am I correct?
You're right. You're right.
Okay. James Patrick Riley, the CEO and founder of Colony Bay Entertainment, and Anne-Marie Murrell, the National Director of Politichicks.
Hey. Woo! All right.
Was that a little bit sarcastic?
What about you? What about you? Come on. Let's hear a little bit.
Now, it is an honor and a privilege to have all of you on the Glazov Gang. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new member of the Glazov Gang, James Patrick Riley.
Yes, very good.
Very honored to be here.
Morgan, welcome, James, but we tricked you a little bit because we didn't tell you the rule. But once you're on, then we tell the rule. Some people get scared, but don't think the worst. Morgan or Anne-Marie, tell James the rule about the Glazov Gang.
Dwight said never to say that. He said, Dwight Schultz said
it's
we
okay.
should never
Don't
say
listen
that.
to Dwight.
Oh,
okay.
That's right. He did, didn't
okay,
he?
So
he did.
Not going
okay,
to.
it's not coming out of me.
We love you,
okay,
Dwight.
okay,
We're not
this
coming
is,
out
this
of me.
is,
What you said.
I'm in Dwight's chair.
A tragic comedy for over a year and a half now. James, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never
leave.
Excellent. And who sang the song?
That was the Eagles.
Excellent.
And I met him in the 80s. And
there we go.
Talked to the guys for a while. I didn't know
so
who they were.
You're a Glazov gangster now. You can check in. You can check out.
But you can never leave.
Okay.
That's
now,
it. Yep.
a few other in-house matters before we move forward. Morgan, I really like that part about you being at CPAC and something about my show. Can you talk about?
You would not believe it. Anne-Marie and I were everywhere at CPAC.
Okay.
And people would come up to us and say, I saw you on the Glazov Gang. It was awesome.
That's right.
Can we just spend the entire show talking about the various things maybe
really
people
was.
say?
I couldn't believe. I mean, people from Chicago, people
Excellent,
from all
I
over
like
the
this.
place. It was great.
That's right.
And did people say nice things about me in particular?
They did, except they said you talked funny.
Yeah, that a boat.
You know, it's like, what is with
They're not
his,
right.
what accent does he have? Like, what is he doing?
Okay, but you must be making this all up. Just entertain me for 15 seconds here, okay? Okay, I say about.
That's true.
Okay, so how do you say it?
I say a boat.
Okay, what's the difference?
It's a bow.
No, it's a boat.
No.
A boat?
It's a boat.
That's the way he says it.
That's the way you're supposed to say it.
A boat?
I'm being
Who's
the nice.
on third? I don't know.
I'm going to be the nice one this time.
Okay, ladies and
Morgan's
gentlemen.
the mean one.
Now, okay, yeah, Morgan's going to be the mean one today. Ladies and gentlemen, believe me, we have very serious things we're going to discuss in a minute, and we are starting right now. James Riley has an episodic drama called Courage, New Hampshire. It's about the years prior to the Revolutionary War. It has been picked up by the INSP network and will have a national debut on Memorial Day.
Awesome.
That's right.
Congratulations, James.
Thanks. We're very proud.
Great.
Tell our viewers very briefly about this success and your drama.
Well, it's a story of 18th century, 1770 to 1775. In those days, a tavern keeper was usually the justice of the peace. And so if you had a dispute with your neighbor, you went to the tavern and you had justice dispensed over the bar. And so it's a story of how the people of New England built up the courage to fight the revolution.
Fantastic. Brief comment from Anne-Marie or Morgan?
It's such a beautiful, beautiful series.
Okay.
I mean, it's cinematic. Every episode looks like a movie. And some of your favorite conservatives have been in this show. Andrew Breitbart was in it. Basil Hoffman is one of my favorite. We love you, Basil. You're just the best. He's in it. Just wonderful, amazing patriots.
And it's a show that, you know, it appeals across the political spectrum. And we have a score of very liberal English actors who act in the show. But people have, you know, we've seen it on PBS. We found a very broad audience for it, so we're very proud of it.
Fantastic. Morgan?
That's wonderful because it's bringing history back to the forefront too as well. And like you said, if you have liberal actors, American, conservative actors, it's just telling history. It's bringing the story alive again. which is great.
Freedom is not a political thing. Freedom
Exactly.
appeals to liberals,
Exactly.
conservatives, and so we found that the story, which is a rip-roaring good, it's like a Western in the 18th century, is finding an audience. So.
That's great.
Fantastic. Congratulations, James, and what a privilege and honor to have you here on the Glazov gang, who can never leave even when he checks out. Our first very serious topic for tonight. Robert Spencer and Pamela Geller at the CPAC Uninvited panel. Of course, there were other titans there as well, but we have two very quick video clips of it. Morgan and Anne-Marie, you were at CPAC.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us very quickly your experience here and what happened. I think Frank Gaffney, great freedom fighter,
Frank
was on that
there.
panel as
Yes,
well. Tell us what
yes.
happened, Morgan.
It was amazing. I mean, these were the people that were left out of this conservative conference, which none of us could figure out why. Why are they trying to shut down the freedom of speech of these people?
But
just because they had a differing view or a more, a more controversial view, you should still be able to speak.
Right, but we know why, right?
Well,
I
we
know
know
it's a
why,
rhetorical
absolutely.
thing. Yeah, okay.
But it was amazing. The room was electric. It was packed with people, standing room only.
Okay.
And you had to really go look for this room. You had to find it. So people really came in there and they wanted to hear
And
what
you know
was
what?
going
Breitbart
on.
News is just a providential godsend that they allowed this to happen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Anne-Marie?
Yeah. It was a packed house, and it was wonderful to hear these people. Some of us, that's the main reason we go to these types of conferences, because we want to be educated about civilization jihad. We want to hear about illegal immigration. I mean, and none of those topics were allowed to be talked about. And yeah, we do know, and I'm going to say straight up, it's Suhail Khan and it's Grover Norquist and the ACU, who lets these people control the conservative voice.
Did you confront Suhail Khan again?
No,
How you
we had
brilliantly
some
and
people.
courageously did.
We had some people in a panel, but he was very selective about who he chose to answer questions.
Okay.
You know,
yeah,
I've watched
Jim.
Spencer for years. He's a mild-mannered, measured guy. And when I saw him on that panel, I've never seen him more passionate.
Yeah, he's
than-
incredible.
Yeah.
Let's go to a 1-minute clip of Robert Spencer on the Uninvited panel.
And then we're here talking about this in a panel called The Uninvited. Why? Because the loyal opposition is completely absent on this issue. Now, Steve asked me not to talk about this, and I'm going to anyway, because when you're uninvited already, you don't care.
Hold it, hang on. So, no, hang on, Robert, hang on. I didn't say
I'm
not.
invite this from the uninvited,
no,
but then I'm going to talk about it outside.
no, hang on. I didn't say not to invite, but I don't want. We no need to have personal
There's
invective.
no personal attacks. I don't know Grover Norquist personally. I met him once. I met Suhail Khan twice. I don't know these guys. What I do know is that they're completely in bed with the same people Barack Obama is listening to craft the Muslim Brotherhood positive foreign policy of the United States and domestic policy as well.
Wow, what a powerful
yeah.
clip there of Robert Spencer, and he's a true friend of mine, and he's also a hero. So much respect for him. Yeah. And on that panel, he just didn't mince any words, told it like it was.
That's right. This is what
Tell
we
us-
need. This is the kind of person that we need. Somebody that has no fear and stands up and says what they believe with a passion. If we have more people doing that, we're going to get a lot further.
Yeah.
James?
Yeah, it was basically, if you shut me up, I'm going to start speaking louder.
Yeah, that's what he said. And Anne-Marie?
Yeah. Oh,
Were
yeah.
people excited when he was speaking?
Oh, thrilled,
Yes.
especially when Robert spoke, because he kind of went. They still had guidelines they were supposed to stay within,
Yeah.
and he just went all the way around it.
And another courageous freedom fighter. We have a very quick clip of Pamela Geller telling the truth.
So this ad goes up, and this is Hamas MTV. It's a music video. It says, "Killing Jews is worship as it draws us closer to Allah." Now, let me tell you something. The San Francisco District Attorney and the entire City Council held a press conference to denounce me and to denounce my ads and call this ad Islamophobic. Really? This ad looks anti-Semitic to me. This is hardwired for delusion. They will not speak out. The same day that this ad broke on the buses, the hostages, British, Christians, French, the hostages in Nigeria were slaughtered. Did they have a press conference about that? The constant slaughter of Christians in Nigeria, Buddhists in Thailand, Coptic Christians in Egypt, bloggers being beheaded in Bangladesh. Not a word.
Wow, and absolutely incredible. Pamela Geller, always truth teller, freedom fighter, telling it like it was.
And you know
Morgan,
what?
You were there?
I was
in
there.
the room with, with Pamela as well?
Oh, we
Absolutely.
were front and center.
And the thing is that, you know, you have to think these people know that they're going to take a lot of flack for what they say. They know there's going to be a lot of haters out there and a lot of people that are anxious to jump on them and call them racist or whatever it is they're going to do. And it takes a very strong person to stand up and take all of that. It really does.
Jim?
When she described my jihad as getting thinner or going on a diet, and just the preposterousness of that whitewash that's going on, I thought she did it very eloquently.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a bit about this uninvited panel and what it says about what's happening in our society as well as in the conservative movement where they were uninvited. This is very scary. But look, we are not allowed, it's almost as if Islamic blasphemy laws are being carried out in the United States. We are not allowed, like even with Pamela Geller, how she's putting up these ads that are basically just quoting the Quran, Islamic theology, what the terrorists themselves say. Our society is hating on and smearing and slandering the people who are saying what the terrorists and the Islamic theological teachings say, rather than confronting the terrorists and the Islamic teachings that inspire them. This is just crazy. Are you worried about this? Where are we going as a society where truth tellers like Robert Spencer and Frank Gaffney and Daniel Pipes and Pamela Geller and Brigitte Gabriel, Nani Darwish, they are considered the bigots and the racists and the Islamophobes? Where are we going with this? And of course my boss David Horowitz, a huge freedom fighter on the front lines, slandered and smeared every day by the left, and yet we are trying to stand up to an enemy that wants to destroy our civilization. So go ahead, Anne-Marie.
These are our leading experts on Islam. And the fact that they're relegated to a room in the back of CPAC, of the conservative conference, the fact that they're not allowed to speak in the big Potomac room with the thousands of people watching them, the fact that they were having to speak in a room at the last minute because of Breitbart.com is disgusting to me. It made me not want to go to CPAC, but then we needed to be there because there weren't that many people that were making a big deal about it and talking about it and bringing it out to the forefront. If we're not allowed to talk about civilization jihad at a conservative conference, we are in trouble.
James?
Well, we all know that, any group, like CPAC or any group, would have to say there are some topics. In other words, you wouldn't want neo-Confederate libertarians up there on the platform in front of the whole group. But we're sending men and women to die in nation-building efforts around the world. And we have to understand that Islamism and the Quran has to be studied as a topic and understood if we're going to fight that war. To say that that's a topic that's somehow outside the pale is preposterous.
It is. It's ridiculous.
But we know why.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. These people are brave enough to get up and speak. And honestly, they didn't say anything that was so outrageous, but yet they're going to be branded as kooks and wackos and weirdos and way off base, just like they did with the Tea Party. And that's going to be the mantra of the left and the media, so that it marginalizes these people. And we have to fight, not only do we have to fight to get our voices heard, but we have to fight to prove that we're not crazy, because that's what they're going to try to do, is make us sound crazy.
And we'd like to thank Pamela Geller and Robert Spencer for those brave speeches, and of course for Frank Gaffney and so many other of the brave people at CPAC and fighting everywhere else. But here's the key. I've been studying the left since I was a little kid, and the key here is that there's a leftist virus, and it's infected our entire society, and it has infected the conservative movement. And what it is that you cannot say that there are other religions and cultures that are not equal. And so when there is an Islamic attack, and like at Fort Hood, and somebody's screaming Allahu Akbar and operating because of something in the Quran, to say that Islam has evil teachings and that Islam inspired this violent attack, you are basically saying that our civilization and our culture is superior, and that culture and that theological or ideological teaching is inferior, and the left can't allow that because the left wants to destroy our society, right? And so this is the problem. They own our discourse now, and they're molding the boundaries of our debate. Did I go on too long? I'm sorry.
No, it was wonderful.
Was it brilliant?
It was brilliant.
Brilliant.
Absolutely
And you're
brilliant.
in awe a little bit. We'll be back for our second segment of the Glazov Game.